Chilling up in the kingdom. Chilling with Yahweh Shai and all the brothers and the sisters. Cooling out, having fun. Drinking yayan with Yahweh Shai up in the kingdom. Yeah.
Who are we? Israel! That who are we? Israel! Can't hear you.
Israel.
Who's the power?
Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai's the power.
I said, who's the power?
Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai's the power. Yeah.
Shalom Israel.
Shalom!
Welcome to class again with the Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. We're going to go ahead and get out these announcements really quick and then go ahead and start class. All right, we'll start out with questions, and if nobody has any questions, we have some questions that we're going to go through. Just a reminder for everybody online, these are our locations up here on the screen. And if you want classes, we, of course, go live in these different locations, all right? And if you're not in that location, speaking of that, I got to send this link out, brother. If you're not in that location, just hit us up, okay? We would love to chat, talk. You can always get class online, all right? If you want counsel, we're going to put our number up there later. Check out the brothers' Blog Talk Radio, all right? That's still up and kicking. Support that. What do we got next? And then support our other little channels. Check it out. We do have a few videos on there. 5 Minutes of Wisdom. We do have the Hidden Truth Bible Show. We got the news channel. Just different channels that we have. If you look at our channel or go to Houston channel, they're in the top of the links. So check that out. All right. What else we got there? Garments. If you brothers and sisters want to get your garments right. I mean, I know there's a saturation. It's like a saturation of Hebrew Israelites, and everybody's doing garments. But I'll say this: the sisters here, they have quality work, and they put out quality work. So if you brothers and sisters do want to get your garment done, or anything of that nature, headbands, armbands, the sisters do it, okay? And then if you want to subscribe to Fringed Up, you can get, if you want to subscribe to Fringed Up, you can go ahead and get your shirts or things of that nature, headband, and you can get it monthly, a monthly subscription, Fringe shirts, all right? Support that. All right, we also have our Sweet Ambiance. If you want to support that way, you can support through Sweet Ambiance. Sweet Ambiance, we do oils, body butters, soaps, things of that nature. These are things that we use that helps to support our schools. A lot of brothers and sisters don't give, so we gotta try to pay these bills some way. And the brothers and sisters that do give, you are helping beyond what you understand, all right? What else we got on there? The Chosen Creations is something that we just started. We do armbands, we do chains, we do custom pieces of metal, engraving, wood engravings, 10 Commandments, plaques, 12 tribes plaques. We do all these things they got up there. I'm trying to get this link out to this brother. What else we got on there? And you can get a hold of me and Chaazaqya if you wanted counsel, marriage counsel, or anything of that nature. You can get a hold of us. Our number's there on the screen. All right. Last but not least, if you want to be a part of, if you want to get a little bit more serious and be a part of the priesthood, we do have an academy, and the academy is structured and it's a commitment. Brothers and sisters want to partake, brothers, if they want to partake in that, you can join the Hebrew Academy. You have to be in the school 6 months to be part of that, all right? And then the last thing is alms. If you want to give alms monthly to help out the school, you can do that as well. We got a few schools. If you want to help out with any of them, we would appreciate it. All right? So we're going to go into tonight's class. We're going to touch on questions. We have a few questions that I kind of didn't answer the other day. So does anybody got any questions before we go into questions? Before we get into the questions, y'all got any questions? Only one? Yeah. Yeah. 2 Peter 2 and 22. Let's go there real quick. I'm trying to find this, brother. I got it. Okay, here you go. Okay, read that.
2 Peter chapter 2, verse 22. But it is happened unto them according to the true proverb. The dog is turned to his own vomit again.
Okay, 2 Peter 2 and 22. And what is it that you don't understand about this?
The dog is turned to his vomit and the wash turn or vomit.
Right. Okay, so that is, remember, the Bible speaks in parable form. It uses allegory. So that's just an allegory or parable referring to a person that draws back. So that's what, 1 Peter's?
2 Peter 2 and 22.
2 and 22. Let's start at 2 and 22. Let's start at where am I at? 2 and 22. I'm sure. Start at verse. Start at verse 18.
God. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 18.
Yeah.
But when they speak great swelling words of vanity,
Right.
they allure through the lust of the flesh.
Right. Now, we've been talking about this, and we're going to get back into that a little bit tonight, a little bit of it. All right? I'm not going to go over all the lust scriptures that he went over, but this is talking about the world, right? The world allures us how? Go to 1 John 2 and 15. 1 John 2 and 15. And we're in 2 and 18, right? 2 Peter's 2 and 18. Go ahead.
1 John chapter 2, verse 15.
Uh-huh.
Love not the world.
Right.
Neither the things that are in the world.
Right.
If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
And we went, I'm not going to go over every scripture we went over the other day. Y'all know that the things of the world, they pull at you, right? All the things of the flesh, it pulls at you. And you can't serve two masters. You can't be, your mind can't be divided on what you need physically, mentally, physically, carnally, right? In the world, and then the Spirit of the Most High. It's a pull, right? I need this, so I can't give myself in this way. It's like it's pulling at me. You can't be double-minded. So the reason why the love of the Father is not in you is because, first of all, who wants a double-minded person? Right? You want to date a person that is not sure? Huh? You want to be with a person that is we just friends? Yahweh, I only know you when I want to. Nah, the Most High don't want that. He wants a committed individual just like you. So you can't have the lust of the world pulling on you, because these things are going to divide you from the will of the Father. Go ahead.
For all that is in the world,
Yeah.
the lust of the flesh,
Right? So these things pull on you. And we're going to talk about a little of those things tonight as well. Right? The lust of the flesh, right? All the desires and the things that the world promotes, right? You can't escape the carnal aspect or I got to look a certain way. The world promotes that all through social media. Like everybody's all about the flesh. Everybody's about, look at my outward appearance, right? Look at how I look physically. Desire me because I look this way. That's all carnal, right? How do you know? Because you start to see when you deal with that person that might look good on the outward appearance, their spirit is really what? Warped, deranged. They have Looney Tunes, right? They're mentally unstable because they live off of these principles of what? The flesh, right? So what can't control us? Our eyes, right? Go ahead.
and the lust of the eyes.
Right? Our eyes, what we like, right? Our senses can't control us. If your stomach controls you all the time, then that's your God. If your eyes always control you, then that's going to be your God. It ain't going to be the commandments, because the commandments always do what to us? Restricts us, controls us. It's controlling, right? Everybody always hears, like, it's so much. The truth is, like Paul said, you get it when you come into the truth. Like, I'm a prisoner. You understand that because now you're what? You're controlled. When the world, but let me go on in that talk. It's controlled, but it's controlled with righteousness. So don't touch this, don't take that, don't snort this, don't live like that, right? It's not a bad control. It's a mother and a father control, right? The Most High is controlling you on how to live righteously to protect you from all the said things I just said, right? The physical things that destroy you mentally. Y'all get that? That makes sense? So that's why the eyes can't control you, the belly can't control you, the flesh can't control you. Go ahead.
And the pride of life.
And the pride of just, whoo, I'm free, right? I'm just free, right? No, you are servant to something. You're not free, but that so-called pride of life, I'm proud to be an American, right? That pride to just live and do what you want to do. Like when you look at Esau, you look at the nations, like I understand why they don't believe in the Most High. Because the Most High comes with rules and regulations. Right? They're on, no, my rule is pay your taxes. That's easy. Anybody, it's like people that just pay alms, right? And don't really commit themselves to the works of the Father, right? Anybody can do that, right? But actually commit yourself. It takes work. Yeah. And that's why the white man, America, the nations, they live off of this. No, you're free. You do what's in your heart. You do what you like. Don't let nobody judge you, right? But where does that take them psychologically and mentally all the time? It leaves anybody in that mind state in a bad state. So you see why the Most High is saying what? Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. Because the worldly concepts will leave you more distraught and broke down. Is that not the truth? If it's a lie, then why are you here? If it's a lie, then you should have had it together. You know what I mean? You were good without the Most High. You don't need the Father if it's a lie. Go ahead.
It's not of the Father.
Right. So it's not of the Father. These ways, this mind, this thought process is not of the Father. Go ahead.
But it's of the world.
But it's of the world. That whole concept, everything I just said about you do what you like, do what you feel. You know what? If it feels good to you, it's on you. Don't let nobody judge you. That's of the world. Go ahead.
And the world passeth away.
Right. So all these things are going to pass away. So let's go back to your question. Let's link these two together. Why did I go there? Because jump back to 18.
For when they speak great swelling of vanity.
Right. See, how does those fit together? They link perfectly. Because the things in the world and the people in the world, they promise you vanity. All that talk leaves you old, lonely, beat up, psychologically broke down, despaired, right? Mentally damaged. It leaves you in that mentality, right? It's vanity. Go ahead.
They allure through the lust of the flesh.
Now you understand what does that mean. They allure you through what? TV, through media. And it's all poking at what? Your senses. Your eyesight, what you see from your youth up. You look at TV and you see things, you want it, you buy it, you want it, you eat it, right? You want it, you want to poke it. Everything is what? It's vanity, and it's the lust to pull you in that mind. That's the God of this world. The God of this world is based off of what? They said it perfectly. Do what thou wilt. That's the mind state, right? Go ahead.
Through much wantonness.
Right, through much what?
Wantonness.
Right, wantonness. What is wantonness? What you got for wantonness? Check this out. So if y'all just tuned in real quick. If y'all just tuned in, we're answering a question in 2 Peter 2:20, I think she said. Go ahead. What is wantonness? What you got?
Wantonness.
Uh-huh.
The trait of lacking restraint or control.
Ooh. We're going to get into that because this goes into another sister's question. But what do they promise you? Vanity and what? Lose yourself. I can lose myself. Right? No control over what? Nothing. Why? Because nobody can judge me. Right? Only God can judge me. Right? And that what that means is what? I'll do everything filthy here in the flesh, and then when I get to the Father, He'll deal with me. That's a dangerous way to think. Right? So wantingness. Right? Well, you got something better?
You have something to add to what he's saying.
Okay, finish that and then we'll go ahead.
Reckless freedom from inhabitation or worry.
Right. It says reckless?
Right.
Woo.
Reckless freedom. That sounds about right.
Right. Reckless freedom. That's wantonness. So while the Most High said, don't trust the world, don't love the world, because the world leaves you with this wantingness freedom, which is damn belligerency. We're gonna get into all that. I ain't even gonna go deep into that. Go ahead.
It says, indulge in a carefree way of life.
Yeah, a carefree way of life. Now you see why Americans always talk about what? Do what you like, do what you feel. Well, did you know that's the motto of the devil's Bible? Do what thou wilt, meaning what? Whatever you like, whatever you feel. Nobody judges, right? So, wantingness. You got something else?
I just said synonyms is promiscuous,
Uh-huh.
sluttish,
Right.
loose,
Yep.
easy.
Uh-huh.
It says casual and unrestrained in behavior.
That's what the world does to our mind, our mentality. So they promise us vanity through what? Do what you like, do what you feel, right? Go ahead, read on.
Those that were clean escaped from them who live in error.
Right. So you had got out of them. You had get out of. Remember what it's saying here. This is important. This is talking about people that are in the truth. You're allured by. First of all, what happens to you is, especially, it can happen to a lot of kids. You grow up in the truth. You're born in the truth. And you're looking out the window and you're like, man, am I missing something? Right? Are there things in the world that I could be missing? And because I'm here and I'm in this environment, it's not letting me live life. No, you can live life. The Most High lets you live life. He just lets you live it with order, righteousness. You can live life. A purpose. He lets you do that. You know what I mean? The world, so what happens is you come into the truth and now it's like, no sis, that's wrong. Don't dress like that. That's too tight. You're like, nobody never told me about my clothes. Like, okay, I guess so. And then you get real spooky on them, right? Right? You thinking they're spooky and you getting spooky like, I guess so. And now you gotta what? Change your clothes. And it's like, okay, no, sis, that's not the way you deal with sisters. That's off. That's wrong. Well, where is that in the Bible? Well, let me show you. Right? It tells you about meek, being humble, proper communication. Right? So you're like, what the hell? Right? And then it's like, hey, Dad, do you mind if I go to a club with my friends? I'm like, let's talk about this. Let's see if that's going to be wise in a day that where they're shooting, killing, they're raping, right? Wisdom would tell you, don't do that, right? So now it's like what? More chains, right? More fetters. That's what it says in Ecclesiasticus 6, right? So you're getting all these fetters, and you're like, damn, at one time you used to run wild. You used to just like, damn, nobody judges me. Nobody tells me anything. And now you're telling me, dress like this, walk like this, talk like this, pray like this, eat like this. And you're like, what the? It's a shock to some people.
Right.
That's why Paul said you're a prisoner. You're like, what the hell? I feel like I'm in prison. That's why it's important to understand free will and to understand, to know within yourself that world, the ideas of the world is filthy. The lust of the flesh, the pride of life is not of the Father. If not, this is a shock, and it could be a what? You could be sitting back, and instead of it doing good, right? If you're not studying, you're not learning why, you're not asking questions, you're not in the book, it's almost like, well, that's what you're telling me to do. It's like, no, sis. The scriptures tell you modest apparel. That apparel don't fit you, right? And then the person telling you, you're like, well, I don't like how you're telling me. Now you what? You start to project the rebellion on the individual that's telling you, instead of saying, wait a minute, hold on. The sister showed me the scripture. The brother showed me the scripture. Now I got to eat that. I got to go home and what? Twist in a circle and figure out if Lord. You know how when you're drunk, your room be spinning? Yeah. Right? That's how it be like with the truth. You're like, what the? Oh, it's too much. You know what I mean? And you got to eat that. You got to figure out if you're going to serve the Father. This is the case of the Hebrew Israelite. So this is the case of the person coming to the knowledge. So do you want that wantonness? A lot of times that concupiscence or lust or desire for that wantonness never left. Or for the kids, it'd be like the wantonness and the concupiscence is still there. You see what I'm saying? It's because they haven't seen what it tastes like. They want to touch it and taste it. Regardless, everybody got a battle that they're going to have to choose the right hand or the left hand. You see that? But now, here's the situation with this scripture, right? It says, though through much wantonness, those that were clean escape. You left that. That's the problem. The key points in here is you left it, right? Why would you pass around like a bag of meat to every man? Right? Like you had sex with him, her, he, it's like you've been abused by this person, that person, but you escape those things to be protected. But a lot of people don't feel that way. They don't look at it as, I escaped something. I've been delivered. They don't look at it that. They look at it like, well, that's just the way you feel, and I feel this way. You're not getting it. So I'm pointing out certain details in here to show you this mentality that can creep in, and it's going to go down into your question, right? They clean escape. Go ahead.
From them who live in error.
For them who live in error. So what is the word telling us? What?
So when you say clean, like,
Meaning you right at what's the saying? You got out at the nick of time? Right. Right. You got out at the nick of time. That's what it means by clean escape. Like you just got out. Like you were just one boyfriend, one situation away of what? Molestation, child abuse, abusive husband, and the Most High's like, nah, you know what? She prayed. I'm gonna answer her prayer and move her away from all that. Right? I'm gonna move him away from that. Right? Because you did. Every time, everybody you talk to, they're like, man, there was something, and I prayed to the Father. And you prayed, and you got the word, but a lot of people don't realize the word was the answer to your prayer. Because they what? Like we went over yesterday, they don't receive it with joyfulness and gladness of heart. And the restraint is a lot for a lot of people that have been loose. The restraint is a lot for a lot of people that love to live loose. Right? So you clean escape. Go ahead.
While they promise them liberty.
See, what does the world promise you?
Liberty.
They promise you liberty. They promise you freedom. Which is what? Right? But what the liberty is through what? Your 401k. That's going to make you free. Like truth shall make you free. Nah. The truth ain't going to make you free, bro. That money's going to make you free. You know what I mean? No, sis. This man, I know he's number 10, but he's going to free that back. You know what I mean? He's going to free that back out and make you feel good. Right? Yeah, brother, that woman's going to make you free. You know what I mean? Oh, just one more job. You got 2, the third one's going to make you free. Right? It's like, that's not going to make us free. If it was going to make us free, bro, there'd be a happy America. There'd be a happy world. But those concepts ain't making us free, right? Go ahead.
They themselves are the servants of corruption.
You see how the word gives you the keys? It's telling you they're servants of corruption. It's a trick. It's an entrapment, right? It's corrupt. You know what I mean? It's like the cat that pulls up in the van and kidnaps you. You know what I mean? Or the guy at the party that's like, look, we just gonna hang out, and next you know you're sex trafficking. No, I got you. He's like, I'm gonna take care of you. And you're thinking, well, I love sex anyway. I want to live like this. When you deal with a lot of girls that fall into this, they get into this mode of like sex. I love sex. So it's really not a thing with me. And then you tell the pimp, it's like, look, I got your back. And you feeling like, see, I'm protected by him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you become a servant to that lifestyle. But it be filth. It be a captivity. So you're giving up one captivity for another. Which one is better though? That determines on the individual. Yeah, because we know the ones that are enlightened, we're like the Most High, Yahweh. I don't need that, right? But man, I wish it was that easy. It's not that easy. You got brothers and sisters that what? Still are like, I kind of like dressing like a hoe. Like, y'all telling me it's bad, but I don't got no problem with showing my ass to nobody. You're like, so could you come with something else, brother? That's how it be. They gotta you have to see what is wicked, what is evil, what is wrong, and you most of all gotta put the Father, the Word, right, in mind first, right? So, but that's what the trick is. So as we get to this part where you're asking about, you got to keep in mind why an individual turns back. Because somewhere in their underlying thought process, they're still saying, you know how when it says in Luke 15 about the prodigal son? The prodigal son had to realize he was in the mire. Well, there's a lot of us that never realized they were in the mire. They were like, well, I just got the truth by this. You know, I never read the Bible, so it really was interesting. Or they come with, I was never a bad guy in the world. I love those. Like, I wasn't a bad guy. I never sold dope. I never did drugs. I never even drunk liquor. Right? I wasn't a bad person. And then you start to deal with them and you're like, wow, you're chaotic, bro. Your mind is gone. Right? Because they went about to establish their own righteousness as opposed to righteousness of the Most High. Right? You don't, why did Christ say none is good? When they call him good, he was the Son of the Most High, and he was like, nah, none is good but the Father which is in heaven. But you established your own mind. So when you were in the dirt and you got the word, it was life, it was enlightening. You know what I mean? But you really didn't see that. You were filthy and dirty. So a lot of that dirt is still on you. The mind state. Y'all see that? Go ahead.
For of whom a man is overcome,
Right?
of the same is he brought in bondage.
Yeah, you brought right back into bondage under that concept, under that mind. Right back in that worldly mind state. Go ahead.
For if after they have escaped the pollutions of the
They
world,
did what?
escape.
They what?
Escape.
Yeah, they escaped. You're out of there, bruh. You don't gotta worry about parties and blunts and your house smelling like cigarettes and dogs. You know what I mean? Yeah, you don't gotta worry about that. You don't gotta worry about dirty ass hair weave everywhere. You know what I mean? Makeup all over the place. Talking about, girl, we going out tonight. Long fake nails. You know what I mean? We got talking with your hand. You ain't gotta worry about that no more. I don't gotta worry about that. My daughters ain't like, yeah, for real though. You know what I mean? They ain't like this in the house. You know what I mean? My rib jokingly did that the other day. I was like, what was that? What was this? I was like, you better put that damn figure down. Boy, come out. Your rib come to class like this. You know what I mean? What happened to your finger, sis? Oh, the sewing machine. Nah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't chop her finger off. But yeah, you know that we don't have to worry about that. You know what I mean? Now, we're not saying the little ninjas and everybody. The little ninjas and everybody. Right? The little crispy ninjas and everybody. But you're breaking past that. Fighting past these worldly mind states and thought process to be that righteous vessel prepared for the Most High. Right? Because we're all disgusting and filthy. Right? But what happens is a lot of people don't believe that. A lot of people don't think that. Right? I didn't kill nobody. I ain't hurt nobody, so I'm good. No, that doesn't make you good, man. Right? But you escape the pollutions. Are y'all getting that? You escape the what? Pollutions. See, you constantly thinking it's about you. You've been polluted so much, you don't realize that there's so much more pollutions that you could have been in. He called you at the age he called you at because there's a lot more out there for your booty. You're thinking like, well, I wasn't bad. Well, you don't know where you were going. You don't know the next guy you was going to meet. You complaining about the Israelite man you did meet. What about the guy that you was going to meet? Huh? In the multiverse. Let's just say you didn't. Who were you going to meet? Where were you going to go to? What type of person would you have been, right, if you didn't get the knowledge and the truth? Think about it. Let's just sit back and think about that. If you didn't have the truth, what type of person would you have been? Animal, right? I know I'd be a beast. I know I'd be a beast. Right? I know I would not have any rules. Right? You got to see that the Most High has delivered us from those pollutions. Go ahead.
To escape the pollutions of the world.
Go ahead.
Through the knowledge.
Through what?
Through the knowledge.
Wait. How did you escape it?
Through the knowledge.
Through the what class?
Through the knowledge.
No. I escaped it because, you know what I mean, I was a good person. Bro. You escaped it through the knowledge. And those things is what brothers and sisters start little by little to resent and to forget. Right? Go ahead.
of the Lord and Savior.
And of the Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
Jesus Christ.
Go ahead.
They are again entangled therein.
Now, what is the world trying to do? Pull you back. What is your family always trying to do? Give you reasoning why not to follow Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. They want to pull you back. What? We'll make this simple. To the lust of the flesh, the pride of life, the lust of the eyes, your belly. Right? That's what they want to pull you back to. Right? Girl, you don't need him. Girl, you need this. Girl, this is the way it's supposed to be. But girl, you're telling me all this, and girl, you single, girl. How you telling me all this when you ain't got a man? You can't keep a man. You in every abusive relationship. Why am I even listening to you? Right? But they trying to pull you back to the pollutions because misery loves company. Misery loves company. Go ahead.
And overcome.
And what?
And overcome.
And then you start what? Resenting the prisoner estate. You didn't know that those shackles were going to turn into gold, and the chains were going to turn into glory and honor. You didn't know that. So what happened? You got pulled back into it, and you back in the entanglement, right? In the real entanglement. Go ahead.
The latter end is worse with them.
The latter end is what?
Worse.
Why? Let me ask y'all on this point. Why? Why is the latter end worse? Why, Warka?
Because they are receiving knowledge. So when they go back, it's always worse when you know what you're doing wrong. It's always a bigger consequence.
Okay, what else you got? That's not wrong. I want you to expound more.
Yeah, because if they got a conscience towards the truth, and they go back in the world, that's going to be eating at them.
Okay.
Because
True.
Because they know where they're supposed to be, and they're going to know that what they've been pulled into is not right. But that's going to be eating at their conscience. Yeah. And plus, the Most High is going to chastise them more because they do have the knowledge, like you were saying.
True.
Yeah.
True. It's going to beat at them. It's going to get at their conscience. But why are they 10 times worse, though? Why?
Because they've been shown the right way and they're doing it the wrong way.
True. That's it. They've been shown the right way and they're doing opposite, right? We're going to get back there. What?
Because basically you get one demon out and then he leaves a hole and then 7 more come in his place.
There it is. 7 more demons. Now you got to show and prove. Like, look. Remember, I got to use a current example. Right when the sister left, what did she do? She posts her new guy on the chat. Like, I don't care about this relationship. I don't care the Most High just bound me to somebody. I'm going to show y'all that the whole time I had eyes of adultery. Right? Y'all sisters seen that, right? That's the 7 times more demons. What you're going to do, you got to go all the way out. From my experience, every sister and brother that leaves, you see them worse. You see them flamboyantly disregarding the commandments and the will of the Most High. So everything everybody is saying is right. It's just all these other pieces to it that those 7 more demons get on them and they get flamboyant with it, right? They want to do everything. Let me say this. With the women, I don't know why it's extra, but it is. And this is not a man or woman thing. Every time the woman leaves, they make it a point to go right on social media and show that they always was a hoe the whole time. Every time I'm like, why did you gotta do all that? Like you ain't even gonna hide it. You ain't even gonna fake it, right? No, you gonna show straight out. No, look, I'm a hoe. I've been feeling this way the whole time, and I'm going to act out. But regardless, male or female, the scriptures say 7 more demons get a hold of them. So they become entangled in these things and become worse. Go ahead.
The latter end is worse with them than the beginning.
The latter end is worse than the beginning, right? Meaning they weren't even that bad when they came into the truth. Now they worse. Go ahead.
For it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness.
It would. What did I say the other day? It'd be better if you didn't even listen. But it's too late now.
Too late.
Right? It's too late. Read.
Then, after they have known it,
Right.
to turn from the holy commandment delivered unto them.
Right. Why? Why it was better for them not to have known? Well, let's get one scripture outside of this, the understanding that you wanted. Let's go to, what is it? Hebrews? Crucify, it's, hold on a second. Let me show y'all. It's 10. Hebrews 10. Oh, no, not that one. 6, yeah, the Hebrews 6.
Hebrews chapter 6, verse 6.
Uh-huh.
If they shall fall away.
No. Let's go to 5.
Verse 5.
Uh-huh.
They have tasted the good word of God.
Right, they did what?
Have tasted the good word of God.
The thing is that they tasted the good word of the Most High. Go ahead.
And the powers of the world to come.
And they got all this wisdom and knowledge of what is going to happen. You got all those scriptures that the Most High is coming back to destroy the wicked. You know, you've seen all the signs of the times. You're enlightened. You're like, wait a minute. The information that brothers are bringing out matches the scriptures. Like the Most High is doing his work in this world. So you start to bear witness to all that. You know what you got to do to shut that down? Bruh, you got to totally... You got to totally shut down what? Where we at? Hebrews 6 and 6. See, Hebrews 6 and 6. You got to totally shut down. Go ahead.
If they shall fall away.
If they do what?
Shall fall away.
See, we're talking about the same thing he's talking about in Peter's. Right? If they shall fall away, go ahead.
To renew them again unto repentance.
Meaning that what? Now you got to go through all this process over because you let yourself be dragged out and you somehow were entangled back in the things of the world. Go ahead.
Seeing they crucified to themselves.
They do what?
Crucified to themselves.
Go ahead.
The Son of God afresh.
You see? You literally are putting Christ on the cross and you what? Nailing, whooping, beating, abusing. Why? Because what was the grace for? The grace was for you to turn back from that mind state and not give yourself to it. Not to be entangled back in. Y'all see that? Go ahead.
And put him to the open shame.
You put him to a what?
Open shame.
You put him to an open shame. Y'all get this? Okay, where we at?
2 Peter chapter 2, verse 22.
2 Peter 2 and 22. Go ahead.
But it has happened unto them according to the true proverb.
Uh-huh.
The dog is turned to his own vomit again.
Right. So, if you look at animals, they're nasty. They will throw up something, and if it look good, they'll go eat the food out of the throw-up. Right? That's what it means. That means that they threw up those things in the world, but they still looking at the good amongst the throw-up. The food that looks like it can be eating. This is stuff that was in their stomach that was regurgitated and came out. Right? So they throw it up, they look at it on the ground, and they're like, damn, that's good food right there. What's that?
The crazy part of that. When you understand how things are digested, right? It's rotted.
it's decaying, right? It's everything has been stripped for it once it starts the digestive process. So anything good that you could get from it, gone already.
Right.
The body has used that. So returning to your vomit, trying to get something good from it, there's no point.
There's no point, yeah. Actually, it's pointless for you not to see the disgustingness in it, right? And that's what it's saying. That's why the proverb is what it is. Go ahead. And he's gonna go to the proverb because Peter's quoting the proverb, right? Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 26 and verse 11.
God, Proverbs chapter 26, verse 11. As a dog returneth to his vomit.
Saying the same exact thing Peter was saying, right? Because Peter's quoting the Proverbs. And so you're going to read it a little bit stronger.
God.
Read.
So a fool returneth to his father.
So he give you the plain understanding. Go ahead. What you was going to ask? Of the verse? Proverbs chapter 26 and verse 11. So read that from the top again.
As a dog returneth to his vomit.
Right?
So a fool returneth to his father.
That's basically what it's trying to say to you. It's the same way a dog returns to his vomit, the filth, the same way a fool goes to his father. So the same thing the Most High saved you from, right? The anger, the pride, the lust, the concupiscence in the world, is the same thing that you fall right back into. Like he saved you, he taught you, the Most High teach you how to fight with lack of confidence, right? And you started to do it, and you're doing it, and you're doing it, right? But then you pause on the method that was laid down for you to do it. You stop wanting to do it because it requires discipline. And you fight with the structure. You war with the structure even though it's working, but you fight with the structure and you fall back from the discipline of what you was doing, and what? You go right back into that same mentality. And it takes you and warps you. And then like Nas quoted earlier, and 7 more demons come because you ran away from the structure. And then now you warp 10 times 10 because you know right. And then because you know right, your mind is trying to kick out all the right things that your conscience is giving you. Your guilty conscience is coming in. And you're running away from the guilty conscience. And that guilty conscience is the Most High telling you, don't go that way. Don't do that. That's adultery. Don't engage in that. Right? Don't smoke the weed. You put your mind is trying to make it make sense. So you're trying to warp things, but while you're warping things, you're warping your own mind. So, come.
Right. So, and what made you ask this question, sis? You was reading it? Okay. Right. So y'all see what's going on, right? Y'all understand this?
Come on.
Yeah. It's a good question. Go ahead.
And the sow that was washed to her wallowing in fire.
Right. So, and the sow is a what? It's a pig, right? You wash the pig, and it's like pigs don't like staying clean. They go right back to the dirt, right? So that's what it's saying, that the proverb is true. They go right back to those worldly things, right? Okay. So any other questions on that? I mean, did that answer your question? Okay. All right. Any other questions? Yeah. But Baruch 1 and 9. I can't hear you, sis. It's too loud. Say it again.
And then Gemara went back and asked the letter of Jeremiah and the Apocrypha, and then she said time. And then she said then that would be Baruch 6 and 9,
Okay, Gemara. Let us deal with the content of what is going on. All right, because you're going to bring confusion if you're trying to steer what is going on in the chat. Let us do that. That's what we're here for. All right, so it won't get confusing. We won't have to go through this chat and then deal with all that. So I don't understand though. Where we at? I don't understand all that. What was that about?
The original question was, can I get understanding on letter of Jeremiah 1 and 9?
Okay, letter of Jeremiah 1 and 9. Okay. But who had the question in Baruch?
That is Baruch. Letter of Jeremiah is Baruch. It says it.
So it's Baruch, right? Baruch 1-9. Okay. All right, go ahead. Read that.
Baruch chapter 1 and verse 9.
Go ahead, man.
After that, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon.
Okay, it's Baruch. He's hitting me up and saying it's Baruch 6-9. He just hit me up. It's Baruch 6-9. Go there. Her question is 1-9? Well, who's asking the question? Is it Gamar or her? Who's her? Okay, it's 1-9. Okay. Gamar, you doing too much, bro. You're doing too much. Do me a favor, bro. Let us control the thing in the chat. It's simple, right? Let us deal with that. All right? Is she saying 1-9 and 6-9?
Her original question said,
Ask her again. Ask her again.
This one, he's saying 6 and 9. This one. No, she put letter of Jeremiah, so I'm thinking that's why he's saying 6 and 9. What do you call it?
Yeah, he's bringing confusion. Yeah, you are bringing confusion. It's Baruch. Is it Baruch 1-9? Or you can't make her question what you want it to be. We need to ask her what her question is. Let's ask her again. Who else? Any other questions out there while we wait? What was it? Psalm 73:15. Let's go. Go ahead.
Psalms chapter 73 and verse 15. If I say, I will speak thus, behold, I should offend against the generation of thy children.
Read it again.
Psalms chapter 73 and verse 15.
Go ahead.
If I say, I will speak thus, behold, I should offend against the generation of thy children.
Right. Okay, you got to read up a verse. So your Psalms where?
73 and verse 15.
So read up a little bit. 73 and it's 15?
Yeah.
Yeah, verse 13.
Verse 13.
Go ahead.
Verily, I have cleansed my heart in vain, and washed my...
All right, wait. Let's read up a little bit more. Because this is one of my favorite chapters. But just to get a little bit of context, behold. Read 12.
Verse 12. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world.
Go ahead.
They increased in riches.
Right. So remember, Psalm 73 is talking about, it tells us, David had almost slipped when he saw the prosperity of the wicked, right? He was telling you, man, I seen them moving, and I thought, man, you look at them, they're looking like they're getting away with something, but they're not, right? Okay. He comes down to verse 12 and says what?
Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world.
Go ahead.
They increased in riches.
Yeah, because a lot of how they increase in these riches is not through the Most High. We got to remember, Satan blesses too. Satan gives things too, right? Well, the wicked, their end is going to come. It doesn't matter if Trump rules the world. It doesn't matter if all these presidents rule their countries. The Most High is going to cut that down. Go ahead.
Verily, I have cleansed my heart in vain.
I have done what?
Cleansed my heart in vain.
So he gets to this point and he's saying, wait a minute. I'm looking at all these things, and it's funny because it goes back to the sister's question. A lot of times you're like, damn, what am I fighting for, right? Because you're not seeing or looking at the blessings or what the Most High is doing in righteousness, right? So it's like, you know what? Damn, am I doing this in vain? Right? You start to doubt. You start to become double-minded. Go ahead.
And washed my hands in innocence.
In innocence, right? Have I done this cleansing process for no reason? Man, these cats over here are prospering, right? This sister's butt naked online. You know what I mean? She's wilding out. Ain't nothing happened to her. Not yet. Like, the Most High's not playing with that. Like, the Most High says what? If you read back from the 1, it's only for a moment. You read down, it's only for a moment. Right? He said, because a sentence is not executed speedily, it is set in the minds of man to do evil. Right? That's just for a moment. Wait till that smack comes. Right? Go ahead.
For all the days long have I been plagued.
Right?
And chastened.
And chastened. Go ahead.
Every morning.
Go ahead.
If I say, I will speak thus.
He's saying, if I say what I just said, if this comes out of my mouth, or if I propose to think like this, go ahead.
Behold, I should offend against the generation of thy children.
Right. He says, I'm offending. I'm going against all the things the Most High has blessed us. All the things that the Most High has showed us. If we think like this. You got to start from verse 1. Right? He almost slipped. Right? Why? Because he's seen the wicked prosper, the wicked move and do things, and nothing happened. They look like everything's good. That's for a moment. He said he would in no wise let them go. They're not going to escape. Right? Go ahead.
When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me. Until I went into the sanctuary of
the Most High. Go ahead.
Then understood I their end.
You see that? He said, then I understood their end. Like, we know what the wicked is got coming to them. The cap, I'm like, I'm good, and don't worry about me. The Most High is going to destroy that. Unless he's a God that he shall lie. And he ain't no liar to me. He's going to handle them. Right? So, hopefully that answers the question. Who asked that question?
Samara.
Yeah. All right. What else?
She restated her question in the same way. My first question was, can I get understanding on letter of Jeremiah 1:9?
Okay, go there. Read that.
Baruch chapter 1 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
After that, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had carried away Jochanaz and the princes and the captives and the mighty men and the people of the land from Jerusalem and brought them unto Babylon.
Right. So, just a little backstory. Baruch was a scribe to Jeremiah. Jeremiah prophesied of the overcoming of Babylon, of Israel falling into the hands of the Babylonians, right? Going into captivity by them. So he's scribing all of this. Now at this time, remember, there was a time where, like when you go to Jeremiah, it didn't happen. And then the Most High brought this curse on Israel, right? Yeah. It's not 1 and 9? It's not Baruch. Okay. Where's the question? So it's Jeremiah 1 and 9. Who said the letter of Jeremiah?
She said, my first question is, can I get on the letter of Jeremiah?
Oh, so it's Jeremiah 1 and 9. It's not in the Apocrypha, sis. Yeah, is it in the Apocrypha or is it in the Bible? Which one is it? Make it simple. Come on, we got to get through this. I want to get to my My class on the question, yeah. Apocrypha. So it's 6 and 9. Is that what she's saying? Like Gamar was saying? Is it 6 and 9, sis, or is it 1 and 9? Come on now. This is getting confusing. Help us out. All right. Any other questions? Why we get through this one? Well, we just read Baruch 1 and 9. She said it wasn't that.
No, so we read 6 and 9.
6 and 9? No. She got to say where it is at. She just said 1 and 9.
I got it. It's in my phone.
Letter of Jeremiah what?
Letter of Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 9. And taking gold as it were for a virgin that loves to go gay.
Okay, so I don't know why she's saying letter of Jeremiah when it's Baruch. Yeah, nah. You're going to she's going from the phone, ain't she? Like if you go to the book, it says Baruch, right? We don't read this as the letter of Jeremiah. We read this as Baruch. And then if it's 6, it tells you that. You know why? Because you see where all the confusion? You just say Baruch 6 and 9. All right, go ahead, read that. Baruch 6 and 9.
Baruch 6 and 9?
Yeah. No, that's what she wants. Go ahead.
Baruch chapter 6 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
And taking gold as it were for a virgin that loveth to go gay. They make crowns for the heads of their gods.
Yeah, let me get there. Baruch. Because I haven't been over that one. Yeah.
Is it kind of like confusion coming in because like how it's like additions to Esther?
Yeah. It is. It kind of links in like that. Tells you where that fits in biblically. Read up 2 verses.
Baruch chapter 6 and verse 7. For mine angel is with you. And I myself caring for your soul. As for their tongue, it is polished by the workman.
Okay, sis, the truth, I gotta go read it. Let me read over it and then I'll get back to you on that one. You know how I am. If I haven't been over that in a while, I'm gonna read it. That way I give you the proper understanding. All right, let me do that and then I'll come back to you on that. All right, bruh, what? All right, so all right, so was that it on the questions? She'll be here next class. I'll get that one for her. That's not a problem. Any other questions? All right, so this question I wanted to go into, it kind of goes into the lust. It goes into what the sister's saying, but it was a question about basically oral, right? Oral sex, right? Is that in the law? Is that okay? Right? Now, just straight out, just on this question, y'all know that's not in the Bible. Like, it's not going to say thou shalt not have oral sex, right? So we got to go through the Bible and get understanding, right? Just like it says, it doesn't say thou shalt not do crack. But how do you figure not to do crack? Right? Now, I know y'all laughing, but is it common sense not to do crack? No, it's not. It's not common sense. Cats do crack. Like, what's wrong with crack? Right? It's sense in us because we got the wisdom. But cats is doing crack like it ain't nothing, right? So, that being said, that everything ain't going to be like straight out tell us, right? But we know in the spirit not to do crack, right? We should know in the spirit what the word, based on what the word teaches, what to stay away from. Y'all agree with that, right? Okay, so let's start from here on this question. Go to Hebrews 13 and 4. We're going to start from here answered this question.
So,
Yeah.
did you form the question?
So the question is about anal sex, oral sex.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And I'm saying that based on, well, when you deal with oral sex, anal sex comes into play, right? You deal with all these other deviant sex acts, right? So we're throwing those all in there, which is what? The dildos, which is bats, you know what I mean? 40-ounce bottles. You know, it gets along the lines of, now, is it okay for me to dress up? We got to go through the scriptures, right? Could I be He-Man and he's She-Ra? Is that wrong? Y'all are laughing. I'm just answering the question. I know it sounds funny, but I'm just answering the question. Yeah.
Oral sex is, is it, I know you said, the law doesn't say specifically oral sex.
Right.
But is this then the question in the context of, is it permitted?
Is it permitted in the bedroom? Yeah, is it permitted in the bedroom? Yeah, in the marriage.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, at this point, is it permitted at all? It doesn't matter. Right? Is it permitted at all? Is that something we should be doing, right? So let's start here. Read that. Hebrews 13 and 4.
Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4.
Go ahead.
Marriage is honorable.
Marriage is what?
Honorable in all.
So the proper way of marriage is honorable. Right? The proper way is honorable. When is it not honorable? Well, go to Exodus 20:14, Leviticus 20 and 10. We're going to get through these real quick. I only got an hour. All right? When is it not honorable? Right? Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 14.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Thou shalt not what?
Commit adultery.
Right. So, when is marriage not honorable? Right? When do you take the honor out of being married? When you commit adultery. When you sleep with one man, one woman, and then you guys fornicate. You're out of your marriage. Right? And we're going to touch on fornication as well also. But remember, what is adultery? Oh, go ahead.
Adultery for a woman is when she sleeps with another man outside of her husband.
Right. So adultery for a woman is when she sleeps with a man outside of her husband. Right? This is why Christ told the woman, thou hast 5 husbands, right? You got a lot of husbands because you did what? You just bouncing from man to man to man to man, right? You're basically fornicating, right? So that's adultery. What's adultery for a man?
Adultery for a man is when he sleeps with another man's wife.
So he sleeps with another man's wife. Why do we know that, right? Because we know a lot of men in the past, they had more than one wife. And we know they weren't adulterers, because if they were, the Most High would have destroyed them. And he would have never let our forefathers build our ancestry on whoredom, right? Like when you look at Jacob, he had how many wives?
4.
Right, he had 4 wives, right? Or to be technical, how many wives and how many concubines? Right, but they gave him these women, their maids, to bear children. That would have been all wicked and off, right? The Most High wouldn't have let us be established on that. So Leviticus 20 and 10 is going to expound on that.
Leviticus chapter 20 verse 10.
Go ahead.
And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife.
See? With another man's wife. It didn't say with another woman. It said with another man's wife. So this is when marriage is not honorable. When you're sitting around with a man that is not your husband. When you're communicating and talking to a man that is not your husband. So this is where the honor is taken out of marriage. Right? Marriage is honorable, but dang, we got to find out what the heck is marriage. Because people that nowadays don't know what marriage is. Right? They're thinking as long as I don't got a ring, I'm not married. You're right. You're fornicating with all these men. But there was somebody that you were building something with, that you were actually endowed with, that you actually made an agreement with, and you lived and you left off on that, and you bounced to the next man. Now you're what? Adultery plus fornication. So you gotta understand what marriage is to keep it in honor, and it's definitely not sleeping around. It's not sleeping around with man to man, woman to woman, right? Go ahead.
Even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife,
right?
The adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death.
They're going to be put to death, right? The Most High has given us mercy, but he said what? The time will come, right? Everybody's got to be judged. So we don't supposed to live like that anymore. You're supposed to put that away. This is what keeps you honorable, right, in marriage. Now let's go into this adultery. Go to Proverbs 6 and 32. You got something to add along those lines? Just tell me. Proverbs 6 and 32. Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 6 verse 32.
But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding.
Right. So we know that a person that commits adultery and commits fornication, they lack the word, the knowledge, and understanding. What understanding? That you are breaking the laws of the Most High, and you are sinning against yourself and your brother and your nation, right? So this is what we have to understand about keeping marriage honorable, because a lot of times women are taught, okay, I'm married to this man, but this is my bestie, and I knew him before you, right? Well, let's go there. Go to Ecclesiasticus 9 and 9. So we're gonna go along this, how you start breaking the honorable part of marriage. And we're gonna get into this point of, the other stuff we were talking about. Go ahead. Wait, Soraya, you had your hand raised?
No, I just want to know where you're at.
Okay, go to Ecclesiasticus 9 and 9.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 9 and verse 9. Sit not at all with another man's wife.
Now we're understanding about what? How you start to get into adultery. You see? Because you start to sit with that man's wife. What?
They circumvent that. They say, we ain't married yet.
Right. Well, then now we got to go into what is marriage. Right? What is marriage? A man, and I said it. I didn't want to make this a whole marriage class because I was trying to go into the point. But you got to go into what is marriage. If a man entice a maid and lay with her, he shall surely endow her, meaning you laid with her, now go through the process. You're not going to say, what? You know what? Nah, I lay with her, I'm backing out. No, endow her now. Let's go there real quick for the sake of you bringing it up and the sake of the scripture. Exodus 22:16, right? Go ahead, read that.
Exodus chapter 22, verse 16.
And
if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed,
right,
and lie with her,
right,
he shall surely endow her to be his wife.
There you go. Why? Because he's saying, look, you did the deed. Go through the steps and don't make whores of the daughter of Zion. Right? So the law is telling us, yeah, you did the deed, but you don't supposed to just be like, well, we're not married now. No, you're married because you have laid with this person, or else you're just creating whores. You're creating whoredom. You are a whore. Right? And we're going to get into that a little bit. Right? These are all things, man, that we have to realize, bro, even being in the truth, you have to realize. The Most High, you don't supposed to be bouncing from woman to woman. You're supposed to understand that the duty that you're taking on is a duty, right? What you are taking on is supposed to be building. And get out of this whack-ass mind of, you know what I mean? Oh, you know what? We don't fit. We just don't. Because you're supposed to learn each other, right? You're supposed to understand each other and grow close to each other. Right? It's like this. a man is betrothed to a woman. Our rule is wait 6 months before you start talking to her, right? Then wait another 6 months before y'all start dating, right? And then give yourself more time before y'all lay with each other. Let's just say, okay, brother, we waited 6 months. We didn't talk. We caught each other's eye after 6 months. We said, you know what? Hey, I noticed you, you noticed me, right? We didn't lay with each other for another year. But in all of that, what had to be happening during that? You had to get to know each other. Because if not, what's going to happen after all of that? The whole 2 years, right? You finally lay with each other. When do those demons come? When you lay with that person. All of a sudden, it changes. Yeah, I didn't know it was like this. It's like y'all were supposed to be learning that, especially now in this day and age. So that marrying in, like marriage, merging and marrying in had to build. You weren't going to be like, oh, you know what? I met you, love at first sight, and there's no problems. No, I didn't know you really looked like this, number one. You took off the eyelids, the eyebrows, the fake butt, the fake boobs. What the brother Gamar showed me, the fake, she had a whole plastic chest on, right? Okay, you're not even the person I thought you were. You're not the man I thought you were. Where are we at now? We got to grow into what we created in this bond. If not, what's going to happen? You know what? I don't think we're compatible. All right, let's squash that. Let me scroll. Okay, next woman. Oh, you know what? We laid together. You know what? I don't think we're compatible. Like, it ain't going to stop because a marriage is built. Right? There ain't that, you know what? Love at first sight. I seen him and I knew that was it. Show me that. Show me that. How many times? How many times? How old are you, Kaya? Huh? Well, where's your love at first sight? Where's he at? He's at work, right? But nah, he's your love at first sight, but it takes work, don't it? Right, it takes work. It ain't like, oh, you know what, I love you, and then, you know what, I'm never leaving. You trying to tell me you never contemplated, you know what? Man, you never contemplated leaving. Okay, but you didn't, because marriage takes work. If we keep doing it like that, we'll just be whoremongers and whores, right? So be conscious that the relationships, this marriage, based on you throwing that variable in this point, which is something we touch on all the time, you know what I mean? But good point to bring it out is that you need to marry in, and it takes time to build that relationships. Oh, I didn't know you were really chubby. I didn't know you were really skinny. You know what? I realized that after this whole time, you're shorter than I thought. Right? Bro, it'd be the most dumbest, ignorant, worldly thought process. It's like, wait a minute, but I screwed you. You laid with me. Now you all of a sudden realize that, it's not what I seen. Like how? What is that? What?
There's a meme I saw that she's saying basically he's perfect, he cooks, he cleans, he gives me love, and then he says, he says, give me your phone. She said, I got an iPhone. She said, oh, I got an Android. She's like, okay, I'm done.
Right. And that's how it be. That's how the world is. We don't agree at some point, and therefore we don't fight through this, and we don't say, you know what, let's work through these things.
Oh, I just got it.
Yeah, we're not working through these things to continue this marriage and grow in the spirit of the Most High. But most of all, it's the first part. It's the betrothal time and making sure you don't what? Jump in the sack with the individual. That way you can sit back and say, you know what? I want to wait. I want to wait. It's me. It's a lot of things that I'm realizing. You know what I mean? And then you realize what? Okay, we played it safe. I didn't lay with her. She didn't lay with me. The Most High is going to respect that as opposed to us laying each other, then creating acting like this wasn't going to happen. It's going to happen. You're going to have disagreements. You ain't going to really know each other. You're going to really start to see each other after a certain amount of time. Y'all get that, right? So marriage. Let's jump back. When is marriage not honorable? Because we're talking about an honorable marriage. This is what the Most High would. But when does it not become honorable? Well, it goes into this question of what you start doing in the marriage that makes it dishonorable. And it's going to get down into sexual. It makes it dishonorable. Yeah.
I have another question. It's probably going to throw a loop. The way that marriages were born, created, forged, I know we don't live in those times.
Right.
But does that dishonor? Does that dishonor marriages? Like the process of going to the Father, and like, because I know.
Does it dishonor it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
yes,
different circumstances, different situations.
Yeah.
Right. But
yeah.
Does it?
It kind of does, but that's the cards we've been dealt, right? Like a lot of times the Father ain't there. I mean, with our people, majority of the time.
Yeah, you can't help that.
Right, you can't help that, right? A lot of times, if you're a man of the truth and they don't believe in the knowledge, you're not going to go to them, right? And it's going to be a whole nother situation. Or you've been with him, y'all cut out Christmas, you know what I mean? No, you can't have her hand. My grandkids are going to know about Christmas and about Jesus Christ, right? It can go there. So you got those dynamics in there.
Cool.
Yeah.
So as far as honoring, right, mother and father, what if? All right. So let's say you're doing it right. You're taking the 6 month steps.
Right.
And
you're taking your time.
You're taking your time.
Go ahead.
And you go to mother and father, and they said, just like what you said, no Christmas. No this, no that, no Easter, no, what? No this?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh no, I can't condone that. I don't. So as a man that's in the faith, hearing that,
right,
or finding that out,
right,
shouldn't I or shouldn't someone, a man in the faith, say, okay, so mother, father is against. To be honorable, right? And to love my brother as I love myself. Do we then say, as men, right? Do we then say, okay, then I can't because mother and father is not, and I want you to honor your mother and father. Like,
I can't deal with her because of the mother and the father. You can always do that if you want to. That's a high extent level. You're teetering on being over righteous.
Okay, all right.
You're teetering on being over righteous. You can though. It ain't against the law for you to be like, you know what? I want it this way, and if your mother and father don't acknowledge it, then I don't want it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not against the law to go to that level, but here's the thing. Are you being over righteous? The scripture said, be not over righteous, mother. Over righteous is that being that technical to where mom and dad really are not going to have anything to do with this relationship anyway. You know what I mean? So them being off or out of the spirit, I don't need their stamp of approval on this, long as I have the Father's stamp, the Most High's stamp of approval, right?
Because someone could potentially cause maybe a rift in the mind of the female, maybe. Just looking at it from retrospect of, what's the outcome, what the recourse of that type of action would be.
A wise man can always look into all those things and say, listen, is it going to be feasible? I do get what you, and because you're locked in with them still, right? And they still have a connection. Are they going to be pulling at what I'm building? You sitting down and what? Count the cost, no doubt. That's why I said, and you said, based on the circumstances of the individual, you got to look at all those things, and you got to take that into account, right? It goes back to check this out. Go to Ecclesiasticus 6. Go to Ecclesiasticus 6. And Good Land? I thought it was 6. Oh, is it Wisdom of Solomon 6? Is it? Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought it was Ecclesiasticus 6. No, it's not Wisdom of Solomon. I thought it was Ecclesiasticus. Yeah. 20, hold on. Oh, it is. Ah, man. I had that wrong in my brain. It's 26, and you're going to go to 19. Ecclesiastes 26 and 19.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 26, verse 19.
Go ahead.
My son, keep the flower of thine age sound.
Right, keep the flower of your age. Now, usually, you hear that about women. Right? You're the flower of your age, your flower. Well, that's referring to that pureness, that virginity. So it's keeping the flower of your age sound. Like, just because you can, that don't mean you necessarily have to. Like, it's not, you don't have to get a woman right then and there. You don't have to, right, lay with this woman. You don't have to. He's reminding us for that man to keep that soundness, right? In that virgin mind, right? Virgin thought process. Just on your question, I'll go back to the question that we're going into. Go ahead.
And give not thy strength to strangers.
And do not what?
Give not thy strength to strangers.
Now, in this case, we know a strange woman is the woman of another nation. But let's deal with reality of this time. This time is what? Everything is strange. Right? You get a woman in the world, you can get a woman in the truth. And she what? She got a mind of the world. So you got to watch what? You got to watch what you're going to get into. What you're going to get into. Go ahead.
When thou hast gotten a fruitful possession.
See, so what is he saying? Look at what you got and make sure it's what? Fruitful. Like, and it's not talking about kids and, oh, you know what, because she bare children. It's talking about, wait a minute, does this land bring forth the necessary things and longevity, time? When I put my love into this land, tilling this ground, right? That's the analogy. This woman is earth, and the man is the seed, the sower of the seed, right? If I till this ground, is this going to bring forth the proper fruit? Well, it starts with what? Mind state. So you're like, man, she look good. She's young. She got tenderloins. Looks like good fruit to me. Yeah, but when you have that fruit and she's still connected to mother, father, everybody else, right? Where your kid's going to be put to? No, they're going to see their grandparents. Whoa. Well, how the hell you didn't know that before you did what? Start tilling this ground. That's the point of, like, watch when it goes around. Watch. Check this out. Read on.
Through all the field.
Right, through all the what?
The field.
What verse are you at?
Verse 20.
Verse 20. So it says, read 20 again.
When thou hast gotten a fruitful possession.
When you got a fruitful land, like when you go and look at a piece of plot or a piece of land, right? This is what I've been learning, because we've been looking, right? You're looking at the land to see if it got water on it, right? It's dried up. How's the ground, right? There are cracks in the cement. There are cracks in the earth. Wait a minute, that grass is the soil good, right? You know, if you don't know these things, what's going to happen? You're like, oh man, we got the money. Oh bro, there's a lot. There's a piece of land. Let's get it. Then you get it and you find out the city said the ground is bad. This is wrong. It's unleveled. They're going to do something with it. And you're like, now you got what? You got a gay camel. You got, it ain't doing nothing for you, right? Because you didn't do what? You didn't go ahead and process what was needed in that land. And that's how we're supposed to understand and look at women, and women look at men, right? Is this man going to be diligent in the spirit of the Lord, right? Is this man have morals based on the commandments and laws? Is he going to follow the scriptures, or is he going to be a weed head next week, right? Is he going to hit it and be like, damn, you know what? She's not worth it. I ain't dealing with all that drama, right? You got to know. Go ahead.
Through all the field.
Through all the what?
The field.
See, you got to go through the field and make sure it's right. Go ahead.
Sow it with thine own seed.
Then you sow it with your seed. Then you're like, okay, the land is right. It's leveled right. It's good fruit. It brings forth. It's going to be worth something. Then you give it your seed. You don't just run up to it and just, there it is. There's my seed. Yeah, throw my seeds everywhere. Right? What's his name is doing that? Nick Cannon. He apparently got some disease, so he just figured he just lay with every damn woman and have kids with all these women before he died or whatever. Right? That's what foolishness. You might not die, dummy. And at the same time, look at where your kids are learning. But then again, they don't teach their kids. So it's like, hey, let mom raise them. If they raise them as a transgender, so be it. If she raised him as a sodomite, so be it. If you raise him as a drug dealer, so be it. Like, he doesn't care about all that. He's just like, you know what? I'm going to have babies with as many as women I can. That's foolery, man. It says, look at the ground, look at the land, and then excavate it and learn and see, and then you sow it with seed. Go ahead.
Trusting in the goodness of thy stock.
Go ahead.
So thy race which thou leavest shall be magnified.
Remember, what you're laying down is your lineage. So who the hell are you laying with? And I know, man, this is high level thinking, right? You went over it the other day. He said I was as a beast before you. We're not thinking about none of this. We're thinking what? Where those thighs at? You're not thinking about none of that. You're thinking like, man, but look at his jawline. You know what I mean? He got the superhero jawline. You know what I mean? You're like, man, look at his shoulders. This guy's, man, he can handle me. You're not thinking about, damn, is this guy going to be there next week after he do get me pregnant? Right? How does he live? What is he about? Right? They're not thinking like that. We all have fallen short, right, to this. But this is the proper way to keep you away from what? Paying child support till you're 18, but 2 or 3 women, right? And then having to work 2 or 3 jobs. Bro, I can't do the truth. Why? I got to pay child support. Like, what? Like, bro, I got 6 kids, man. And they all from 3 different baby mamas. Right? It be like that, right? But this is the proper way. Choose the proper way. Wait, be patient. Make sure you got the right land. Go ahead.
Having the confidence of their good descent.
See, you're having the confidence that, where's the descent? The good descent is the what? The woman. She's good that something's going to come out of her that's going to be good. She's going to bring up, we're going to be like-minded. She's going to bring up those kids. We're going to be in unity and order. It's going to be serving the Most High. Right? Not one that she has a kid with you and you don't know where the hell she stands. She can lose it any minute. But she dope though. She dope though. Like, bruh. Watch, read on.
And harlot shall be accounted as spittle.
Yeah, remember that, brother? Like, you didn't know that you dealt with a harlot? You don't know you dealt with a whore? Right? Go ahead.
But a married woman is a tower against death.
See, who, and I'll bring it right back to the other question. Who is the woman that honors marriage? Right? Well, go back to Ecclesiastes 9:9. We're going to circle it right back and now. Right back around. Who is the woman that respects marriage? Like these hoes out here don't respect marriage. That's why they what? Talking to 5 different guys. That's why they're what? They're constantly looking from that whack, wicked affection from the wrong, from a person instead of the father, right? Go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 9, verse 9.
Go ahead.
Sit not at all with another man's wife.
Do what?
Sit not at all with another man's wife.
That's when you're going to keep marriage honorable. When you're not sitting with another woman that is not yours, and you're not sitting with another man. Well, he's my friend, right? Well, so I can't have friends? No, you can't have friends. You're high and by friends, right? Shalom, right? Or video game friends. You playing on the app with them from another. But as soon as you start what? Ha ha ha, laughing and laughing, laughing. Oh, shoot me a pic. That's when it's all going to go downhill, right? That's why it says, sit not at all with another man's wife. See, this is when marriage becomes dishonorable. Go ahead.
Nor sit down with her in thine arms.
Right, now you're what? What does the arms represent? Counsel. Now you're counseling with her. You're what? Hugged up with her, talking about, yeah, girl, he don't treat you right. Listen, come back to me, baby. Come back to me. You know I take care of you, but you were trash. You just like, she just what? She don't know where her head is. Not yet, but she gonna find out. Oh, it's coming back around. All of that is circling right back around your ass. Right? Because that's how that adulterous mind thinks. Right? The man is thinking like, you know what? Let me slide up close to her. Yeah, girl, he don't do you right. These men are adulterous. Nowadays, like you said, at the cart, the kiosk, they'll tell them like, I got a man. So what? It's like I'm trying to tell y'all, rip into him. When a person asks you that, so you be like, so, you know, oh, you don't care if I got a man. Okay, well, let me ask you a question. So if we were doing our thing, and I got rid of that guy for you, how do you know I won't respect even our relationship? Just ask them. You don't got to be mean about it. I want to know what they say. It's like, y'all let these good conversations slip by. Like, you should be ripping in his spirit. So how does that make sense? Ask them that. Because it be so many times they come to you sisters and they dishonor marriage. They don't care about that. Did you ever got a chance to tell anybody? Yeah. No, Kaya.
I've had a few crazy episodes, but recently somebody came back and asked Asa he said, oh, she don't really love her husband. Could you give me her number?
See?
I had to check him.
Yeah. Yeah, but see, you see what's going on? Marriage is not honorable no more. Right? They're not honoring these things. That's why they always have plan what? Bottom nigga, right? A side cat to what? I'm shooting, I'm texting, I'm really telling him my mind, I'm telling him how I feel, and the guy I'm with, you a hoe. You're a harlot. And you're making them the women harlots too. See, this is the problem when you don't honor marriage. Go ahead.
And spend not thy money with her at the wine.
Right. Well, he just bought me this. He bought me a dress. He bought me that. Right? What that does is dissipate the quality of your relationship when you let another man do that. Right? Especially you knowing your man struggling, y'all living in this life, but this other guy is buying you stuff. Right? Of course he can do that. Because he ain't got the responsibility of you and the kids. But now he's buying you things. What that does, it breaks down the stature of your husband. See, that's where marriage is not honored in. This is when you start to dishonor your husband. This is when you start, even men, when you're over here, you're texting or you sending money to random hoes, Like, you should be ashamed of yourself. Bro, only if I could sit here and tell you all the debauchery. You have brothers that what? Going through apps, sending money to other chicks just for pictures. I'm like, I was never that damn stupid. I don't know, I'm glad I came up back in the days. I never, sending you money? Bro, you tripping.
Borrow money?
No, huh? You said borrow it? No.
No, I said my hard-earned money.
My hard-earned money to a picture? Bro, pictures are for free.
That's not my check.
But what happens is that man is dishonoring his marriage by soliciting whores, right? Go ahead.
Least thine heart incline unto her.
See, and that's the problem. The gospel is showing us what? What happens when you build these relationships? You hear me say it all the time. You go to work with a -4, and 3 years later, she's a what? Power 6, right? Huh? She's a strong 6. Right? She was trash when you see this. You're like, this is washed up. Next you know, you talking to her, y'all having fun, giggling with each other, and then she's what? She's more prettier than I thought. Right?
But she not on the wifing level.
Right.
Dudes say she's like Rochester, they say clappable.
She's clappable, right?
She's clappable.
Right.
Meaning I ain't gonna wife her, but I will.
But I will hit it and then what? Disrespect her.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I will hit it and toss her to the side. And which ones are wifeable? Because you trashing them all out.
Right.
You see, so they're dishonoring marriage. Yeah.
I had a friend, so he went through a lot of girls, and I didn't understand why. And these were good girls, so I was like, what's wrong with her? He was like, she's girlfriend material, but she's not like, loyal girlfriend material. And he was like, I would give her stuff, but I wouldn't be loyal to her or anything like that. And I was like,
Yeah. Right. See, you talk to these boys, especially the boys, and this, like they're more retarded than ever. They're like the rap music, rap game. I know it sounds weird. Remember back in the days when it was like rap music? Rap music is killing the teens. I was like, bro, y'all are tripping. But no. As all the years go on, and you see them thinking like the people in the music, you really realize what Esau knew. They knew this would be a degradation of their mental senses based on the music and the things that they constantly put in their head. But back in the days, I was like, rap music ain't doing nothing bad, right? But it is. They believe it. They want to live like it. They want to be it. And that's what they've done in our communities, right? So they don't respect women. The women don't respect men. They don't respect marriage. They don't respect relationships, right? Go ahead, let's finish this.
And so through thy desire, thou fall into destruction.
Right, so let's be real about this. It's something beyond what you understand. Well, I can have a guy friend. I had a guy friend that never... Bruh, the scriptures say, don't chill with no other man besides your husband. Don't chill with no women that got men. Right? Period. There ain't no, well, we've been friends for so long. Not anymore. All it is now is like, hey sis, how you doing? And I'm going to keep it moving. That's it. Right? Go ahead.
Forsake not an old friend.
Right. So go from there. Go to Proverbs 30 and 20. Right? So this is why you don't do it. Go ahead. Ask it. Hold on. Ask it. Uh-huh. You know why it does apply? Because if I'm not courting a woman and she's just my friend, then she's courtable by anybody else. Right? So why am I going to have all these women friends when they got, remember what the scripture just said, they got all guy boyfriends. So I got to fall back from those friends. I can't have all those women around me. Actually, the scripture says, sit not in the midst of women. Right? It says it, sit not in the midst of women. So no, I'm not going to have all these girlfriends unless I'm trying to court one of them, then obviously I have to focus on that one woman. But other than that, no, a man shouldn't be having all these women around him like that. Because really, where is it going to take him to? It's going to take to what? You know what? I'm lonely tonight. Let's Netflix and chill. What does that mean? Let's do some fornication. Right? Let's do some whoremongering. Right? That's what it's going to turn to. Shamara, I'm going to tell you, this only applies to God-fearing people. We can't kick in the door on an atheist and be like, look, don't worship, believe in God. This rules only apply to God-fearing people. So I would start from the beginning. Do you believe in God? Yes. Do you believe in God? Well, what does the Lord say? What does he want you to do? That's a God-fearing person. Anybody else, we ain't got friends like that. I don't got no friends like that. I got friends among me that we talking about the same thing. If I go to a brother and be like, hey, who's this chick? You know what I mean? He's going to understand when I take him to the gospel. Bro, sit not at all. What does it say? Read that.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 42 and verse 12.
Read that.
Behold not everybody's beauty.
Right.
And sit not in the midst of women.
Yeah. Like, you don't supposed to be just, like, you know what I mean? I'm a ladies' man. You know what I mean? I like women all around me. You know, what can I say? Nah, bro. It don't work like that because those women are going to have men. Now you're what? You're doing against the scriptures. You see that? And you're going to end up breaking wedlock. And that's the point. Proverbs 30 and 20. We're not going to be able to finish this. Because I'll be here till 11 o'clock on this. I haven't even pierced through anything. So, because we went over other questions, which is not wrong, but we're going to finish this on Tuesday. Because you know how it is on the side. We got to wake up in a few hours. We'll be here till 12, and then got to wake up at 8. So, I'll come back Tuesday and finish this topic up, all right? Go ahead, read that. Last one.
Proverbs chapter 30, verse 20.
Go ahead.
Such is the way of an adulterous woman.
Go ahead.
She eateth and whippeth her mouth.
Wipeth her mouth. Go ahead.
And saith, I have done no wickedness.
See what happens when you sit, like the brother told me. He said, she's talking to somebody. I said, how you know? He said, you can tell, But that's what men know about their women. They know what they got that, the Spirit be telling them. And vice versa. Right? The Most High put something, you be like, something wrong. You trying to tuck that phone too much. You know what I mean? You like talking to the side, you start moving weird with the phone. What you doing with that phone like that, right? But that adulterous woman sits with other men. The adulterous man sits with other women. And they building these relationships just in case. Like, there's a real listen. I was around a brother that had that spirit on him strong. The manipulative, I'll befriend you, and then next minute you'll be topping me in the car. I know that spirit. You got to watch out. I got friends spirit. There's men out here that are straight predators. You know what I mean? And all they looking for is what? Oh, you my friend, but I'm going to befriend you. And then next you know those draws are going to be mine. And we just what? We just boning on the low. Nobody even knows. That's the way of the adulterous woman. And then she be boning some other dude and you don't even know. That's how marriage is dishonored. We're going to get into all these dishonorable ways, how you dishonor marriage, and finish this question. But not tonight, because we'll be here all night. All right? I'm not going to be here all night. Lord willing, we don't all just die in a car accident. All right? We'll be right back. All right? So anything small, anything else online? Okay, the new brethren, his name is, I want to say his name, Atara, it should be Athara, from Wisconsin. Did you have anything? Let me know if you got anything, all right? If you got any questions or anything, I want to open it up for him. And y'all are good. Everybody's good in here, right? Okay. Yeah, this marriage subject constantly, marriage, relationships, you know what I mean? But it's right here. The basics are going to tell us. The basic instruction before leaving the earth, right, is right here. All right. Did he have anything? Oh, no, that's all good. It's all good. Did the brother Athara. Did you have any questions? I'm hoping he hears me. I'll give him a few seconds. Yeah. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, what you got?
Jeremiah chapter 29.
Verse what?
Verse 10.
Okay.
So it says, For thus saith the Lord, that after 70 years be accomplished, at Babylon I will visit you, and perform my good word toward you, in causing you to return to this place. So I understand during this time, Israel was about to be in captivity or in rulership under Babylon.
Right.
So the 70 years, when I looked it up, I was doing research before the Persians and Medes, because it was like 200. So where does that 70 years fall into place before the next empire overtakes Israel?
I'll have to check that.
Because it was.
What you got? What do you mean? Well, ask that again before I jump to conclusions.
So the Babylonian Empire was at 586 BC. The next one was 538, which was the Persian and the Medes.
Right.
So that's 200 plus years in difference. So what happened during that? He said he would come after their 70-year rule. He would come back and put Israel back in its place. What was?
Well, no, I can answer that right now. That's prophecy. That ain't, because did we come back in the room? No. So that was talking about what Yahushua was going to do. Yeah. That's an easy answer right there. Yeah. Because why? Why could I say that? Go back history. You just said it. We didn't rule. We didn't come back into power. We went from captivity to captivity. So no, that didn't happen. All right? And I'll double check that too. But I already know that's future prophecy. But I want to go into the time period as well.
Right, because he's telling everybody, all the other prophets, Jeremiah is telling everybody we're about to go into captivity to Babylon.
Right.
But then to shut all the other prophets and the soothsayers down, because they're saying, oh no, we're going to come out of it, they're wrong.
Right.
And that was in verse 8 and 9. But then 10, it says, "For thus saith the Lord, that after 70 years be accomplished, at Babylon I will visit you and perform my good word toward you, in causing you to return to this place."
Yeah, let me look into that. Let me look into that one. Just remind me, all right? Yeah. All right, anything else? That's it. Remember, it is the Shabbat. Whatever you're doing, keep that in mind. Keep the Most High first, right? Keep your thoughts in the right place, your spirit in the right place, all right? And if you can, get in class, right? Restrict yourself from your pleasure and do the pleasure of the Most High. Other than that, let's say Shabbat Shalom to everybody online. Shabbat Shalom. We'll see y'all in the Sabbath morning class. All right.
Chilling up in the kingdom, chilling with Yahushua and all the brothers and the sisters, cooling out, having fun, drinking yayin with Yahushua up in the kingdom. Yeah. Who are we? It's greater than who are we? bahashini, how was